I bet you that if you follow this roadmap, you will be in the top 1% of front-end developer. In this roadmap, you will find every single technology which you have to master in the next couple of months to become a successful front-end developer. You can check all the project we have built on our channel, including the blockchain coder. You can see this is an amazing front end we have designed for the blockchain coder. You can see we have beautiful component, beautiful front end architecture, which you can able to build if you master all of the technology, which I'm going to highlight in this particular roadmap. So without doing any further delay, let's start. So as you all know that starting with the web development is very overwhelming. So if you have the right strategy, right roadmap, then it becomes very easy for you to master the front-end development, because right now we have multiple tools, multiple software, but which one you have to pick? That's the question you have to ask yourself. In that way you will keep yourself relevant to the industry. So that's the very first thing you have to keep in your mind, that you have to learn those technology very selectively, which you can utilize in your development and which is latest. So the very first thing you have to learn about HTML. In HTML, you have to cover all those basics topics like basics of HTML, image, form, semantic HTML, and SEO. So these are the couple of things which you have to know, because these are the entire feature of HTML which we're going to utilize it when you will work on any one of the project which we have on the channel. After learning HTML, you have to move to the CSS, and CSS will help you to design your HTML. So if you build your web application using HTML, you will see that how ugly it is looked. But if you use the power of CSS, if you know the perfect architecture which you can utilize in your HTML document, in your web application, you can make it more beautiful. So the topics you have to cover in CSS is, first you have to learn about the basics of CSS, that what it is and how we can implement in the files and how we can write that. Learn about the basics. After that, you have to move to the selectors. We have multiple selectors for target an element, paragraph, or div. So learn about the selector. After that, move to the positioning, because sometimes you have to move the element on different screens as per the Canva your application is designing. So learn about the positioning, that what are the properties we have in the positioning. Then learn about the box model, that what is the structure of a box model and how we can implement that. After learning box model, move to the display. Learn about the display, that we have multiple property in that. Then move to the specificity, that how you can target that. Once you cover all of these basics, after that move to the advanced topic. In that we have flexbox, grid, media query, pseudo elements, pseudo classes, and animation. So these things will make your work very easy when you will master it, and you can design any type of layout. You can design any type of CSS animations, and you can make it mobile responsive if you use the media query. So these are the following topics you have to master in CSS. After learning about the CSS, let's move to the JavaScript. And when it's come to bringing functionality into your web application, JavaScript plays a very important role, because whatever event you want to trigger, like if you want to open a pop-up model, that's all you're going to do based on the JavaScript. So it's such a powerful tool, and JavaScript will help you in multiple, like if you want to write a backend code using Node.js. So if you are good in JavaScript, that will help you in multiple play. So I'm a full stack blockchain developer, so I use JavaScript extensively for interacting with the blockchains. You can check the project we have on the channel, that how we are interacting, how we are using the library to bring different functionality. So the topics you have to cover in JavaScript, first you have to learn about the basic syntax, that how JavaScript syntax look like. Once you're done with that, move to the DOM manipulation, that how you can target a specific element and change the data, how you're going to interact with those DOM element. Once you're done with that, move to the fetch API and HSX. So how you can call an API and get the data from the server, how you can make an API request, how you can make a post API request, how you can make a delete API request, update API request. So learn about that. Once you're done with that, learn about async await, because all of you know that your JavaScript file will load from top to bottom. So if you have a function in the JavaScript file which takes a little bit of time for loading, in that way your application will stop and nothing will display. So async await will allow you to simply load the data behind the background, and the code will execute further. So learn about this async await. Once you're done with that, learn about the event listener, that how you can use multiple event listener, like add event, click, or remove event. So we have multiple ones, so how you can utilize that to listen for an event. For example, if you want to pop up a model, so how you can trigger that pop-up model based on the certain event listener, based on the click or based on the mouse over. So learn about the event. Once you're done with that, learn about that ESC plus ECMA SIG is one of the such a powerful feature they have included in JavaScript, and it's really such a game changer, and that is what makes JavaScript so powerful. So learn about the architecture of the ECMA 6, how class constructor work, how you can build a reusable model, whether we want to manage the state or whether we want to create certain element through the class model of ECMA 6. Learn about that. So once you're done with the basics, let's move to the advanced one. And these are the topics will definitely come in the interview when you will sit for a blockchain developer or a front-end developer. They're going to ask you this basics advanced topic to test your understanding about the JavaScript. So understand about the promises, that how promises exactly work. When you will make a call, how the promises and response you will get. Learn about the classes. What are the class structure we have? Learn about the array methods. So right now we have multiple methods on array: replace, push, pop. So learn about all of those things, because when you will work as a data structure in the JavaScript, you have to know that how you can manipulate the data in the array using the Java's method. Once you're done with the array, come back to the scoping. Scoping is such an advanced topic. They want to test your skills to know that whether you know about this scoping or not. Then come to the hosting and closure. So this one is the most common asked question you will find in JavaScript interview as a front-end developer, or whether you will apply for a full stack blockchain developer. Though they're going to ask you this important question, and this plays a very important role as a JavaScript programmer. So master this advanced topic. So once you master HTML, CSS, then move to the JavaScript. We are done with that. After that, we have to move to the CSS framework. So right now you will find that we have multiple framework in web development. So like in old days, we used to write HTML, CSS and everything from scratch, but right now you will have pre-built component, pre-built CSS classes which you can utilize in your front end to design your entire web page. So make sure to master yourself in any one of these programming language. Right now we have popular ones like Bootstrap, Tailwind, Materialize, Burma, Segmenty UI and Foundation. Tailwind is the most popular one, and after that we have Bootstrap, and after that we have Materialize. So these are the three top-notch CSS framework which you will find right now. So if you master any one of this, I would recommend you to master Tailwind, not go for all the one, because once you master one particular framework, other frameworks becomes very easy for you. So try to understand about the framework, that how exactly it works. So in future you can create for your own. So if you're working in a company and the company wants to build a framework, in that you have to build a CSS framework where the classes can be reutilized for designing a form or maybe for header. So that kind of things you can implement when you will work as a front-end developer. So master any one of these frameworks. Once you're done with the framework, come back to the CSS processor. So CSS processors are very important. We have multiple one. You can pick any one. Sass is the most common one, and we have the CSS. So these are the most common one we have, and you can also follow all of the other ones, but these are not that used in the web development. But the most popular one is the Sass and CSS. So you can consider about it. It will not take more than 2 to 3 days if you understand their document and how this Sass processor exactly work. And the best part of this Sass is that you can easily able to follow just like a class constructor model, the way we follow in the JavaScript. You can do exactly the same way, and the designing of the CSS would be very easy. You have to write a very small amount of code when it's come to applying a styling. You don't need to target the element over and over again for applying the styling. You can create a layer on top of each other and you can target the element. In case you are writing 100 or 200 lines of code as a normal CSS, but if you go with the Sass or CSS, in that you have to write only 50 to 60 lines of code and you can be able to have the entire functionality. So that's the power of Sass and Sass processor. So make sure to check on this. After that, you have to know about the popular tools which are available. So learn about the use case of various control like Git and GitHub. So when you will work as a blockchain developer or a front-end developer, you're going to work in a company and all the code is going to be on the GitHub, and you will work as a, like, you're going to do your work and you're going to push that code to the GitHub. So that's how you're going to work on a team. So must know about these two platforms like Git and GitHub. Once you're done with that, you have to know about the package manager, that how you can utilize that. So in that we have this npm onion. So these are the two package manager which we utilize for multiple purpose. So if you want to use the Tailwind CSS or any kind of framework, you're going to install that with the help of Yarn, or you're going to use it with the help of npm, and that's how you can develop on top of that. So learn about Git and GitHub. These two is absolutely must as a developer. No matter you are a blockchain developer, front-end developer or back-end developer, you have to know about these tools. The most important tools, you have to know it. Once you're done with that, let's move to the next one, and we have the JavaScript framework library. So as you know that right now we have a lot of libraries are available which we can use for building our application. If you go with the old way of development, that's very time consuming and it's not that performance optimized. So right now we have a lot of libraries which we can introduce to build application very fast and performance enhancement. So here the list of the popular library which you can consider. So we have React, Vue, Angular, Stelva, Metroller and Remix. So these are the couple of tools we have. I would recommend you to focus on React or Vue. Angular is not that popular, not getting that huge, but make sure to follow on React. If you follow the React, it won't take much time. If you are good in the JavaScript, you can easily able to master that. So follow the React. After that, you have to come back to the next one and learn about the basic things about React. So React is a JavaScript library which you can utilize to build your front-end UI application. So these are the important things you have to cover. Definitely you have to learn about the component model, that how you can break down the entire application into a small component. For example, if you are building a home page in normal way like HTML, in that you write the entire page with the code, and if you want to apply the same styling, what do? You simply copy the same code and post on the different pages. So that's a very lengthy process. But in React, what you can do, you can break down the entire application into a small component and you can create as a reusable component. So you can utilize that particular component in any page. You can utilize it on the home page, about us page, contact page, anywhere you can utilize. So learn about the component architecture. After that learn about the JSX. So JSX is really powerful. You can write JavaScript code in that, so it's really good. Learn about the props, that how you can share the data into the components with the help of props. What is states, what is event, conditional rendering. So these are topics you have to cover, and these are the basics things which you have to know as a React developer. Now let's come back to the advanced topic we have in the React. So if we talk about the hooks, we have this use state, we have the use effect, we have the use ref, use context, use reducer, use memo and use callback. So these are the most frequent use hooks you will find in the React when you will work on the framework for building any application. For example, if you want to manage the state locally in the page, you can do that. So if you have a component pop-up model on your page which you want to trigger based on the user click event, you can do that with the help of JavaScript, but you can also do with the help of use state, and this is just a one line of code. So you can say that by default is going to be false. If user click on that, you have to turn it true, so that pop-up will display. So that's how you can build the logic. So learn about each one of these hooks. So again, I have a complete course on this particular hook which you can find in the I button in the description. So make sure to watch it, where I have show you the examples that how you can utilize it and how you can build that. With that, once you're done with the React hook, now we have to come back to the next one. And here you have to master the library components, the React UI framework. Right now we have multiple frameworks which allow you to faster your development process. So you don't need to build everything from scratch. They will give you the pre-built component and you can simply change the styling as per your branding. So we have a lot of provider. We have Material UI, which is one of the popular. Then we have the Antis Design, less popular. We have a Chakra UI, React Bootstrap, React Base, Blueprint and UI React. So the most popular one we have is the Material UI and Chakra UI. So you can consider these two and you can include in your application. So make sure to follow in any one of these, because all the framework has a similar structure. They have difference in based of the sending of data or customization, which you can easily do if you understand any one of the framework good. So once you're done with the React UI framework, let's come back to the next one. And here you have to learn about the popular React package. So here I have listed down all the React popular package which I have used over the years in the last 5 years of my development career. So these are the most recent one and the most demandable right now in the industry. So learn about the React router, React query. Axios is one of the powerful tool which you can use to make API calls. Then we have React hook forms. Then we have style component, storybook and forma motion. If you really want to add animations in your application, you can use this particular library. So just try to understand that how exactly it works. I'm not telling you to sit and just master each one of this framework. It will come automatically when you will work on the project. And at the end of the video, I'll talk about the project which you can build as a front-end developer, and that will enhance your skills. So make sure to watch the video till the end. Now let's come back to the next. Now the thing which you have to learn is manage state. Obviously, this is one of the most important thing which you have to do as a front-end developer, that managing the data in your front end. If you are getting data from the backend, or if you are getting data from the front end, how you can manage it and pass into your application. So we have a couple of powerful tools which we use as a front-end developer to manage the state. Like Redux is one of the most demandable right now, and most of the popular language, popular framework, or popular website use Redux. After that, we have Mobux, Hookstate, Recolic, and Ecti. So I would say that to go with the Redux is the easiest one, and it is amazing to build the architecture or configure the store and break down the entire application into a small set of data to pass. So learn about Redux. Once you're done with this state management, come back to the next one and master the React framework. So here we have the list of the React framework which you can consider to build your project on. So the very first one we have is Next.js, Gatsby, TypeScript, React Native, Electron. So the most popular one we have as per the current industry, that Next.js is so powerful, and recently they have updated their 13.5, which include a lot of feature, and they have fixed close to 500 bugs. You can easily able to manage the entire backend code right in the front end if you use the Next.js 13.4 or 13.5. I would suggest you focus on Next.js. Forget about this Gatsby, React Native. You can use it to build your application. That's a whole different thing. But I would say that focus on the Next.js. That becomes very easy for you. So once you're done with this React frameworks, after that move to the next one. As I told you to focus on the Next.js, so here are a couple of things which you have to know about Next.js, that what is static site generation and what is server side generation. So you can generate the entire HTML in the front end, and you can push in the front end and user can have the access, or you can generate the static side. And that way your application load time becomes very fast. Or you can add the SaaS or SaaS modules, lazy loading modules, and API routers. Tons of things you can do in the Next.js which obviously enhance your performance of your application in terms of generating with the backend or security or loading faster. So these are the couple of things which you have to know in Next.js, and that's how you develop your understanding and master this particular tool. After you're done with that Next.js, now you have to learn about the libraries and the framework for testing your application, because you have learned all of this technology, you have built your application. Now the last thing you have to do is to test your application with the security and the performance. So these are the tools as a front-end developer you have to use. Like you will go with the Jest testing library, Crossbar, and we have Mocha is one of the most popular one, and it's my favorite because as a blockchain developer I use this particular library for testing my contracts using Hardhat or Truffle. So these are the couple of options you will have. I prefer to go with the testing library and the Mocha for testing my application. So try to understand any one of this and use in your project for testing application. So once you're done with this framework library for testing application, you have to learn about that how you can deploy your website for free platform. So we have a couple of lists here which you can use for development of your application. So you are just started up learning about the web development and you have built your project and you don't want to spend money for deployment to adding in your portfolio. So you can use this free platform to make your website live so other can come and have a look, and you can add that in your resume. So we have a couple of free platform which you can use. We have Netlify, Vercel, we have Firebase, we have GitHub Pages, we have Heroku. So Heroku is no longer a paid version. You have to pay a minimum amount if you really want to use it. And we have the Render, which is absolutely free. So these are the free platform which you can use in your dApp deployment. So once you've done all of this, now is the time that you have to know few important things when it's come to data storage and data management. So first you have to know that what is PWA, what is WebSocket, what is Cross, what is JSON, what is RESTful API, what is GraphQL API, basic security, and web accessibility. So these are the entire thing based on the security. So for example, you are getting a data from anywhere. So you are using maybe you are using a REST API, you are using a GraphQL. So in the REST API, we have a couple of methods like update, delete, fetch, post. We have a bunch of the method which you can use in your application to play with the data. You have to know that how JSON exactly work, how you can convert the data into a JSON format. And JSON is such a light form of data which easy to manage in the backend server. You have to know that how cross exactly work, because when you will get a data from any different location on your website, you will get this cross origin error. So you have to know that how you need to tackle that one. You have to know how WebSocket work when you deal with the payment integration. So these are the things which you have to know. You have to know about the web accessibility, how you can restrict certain information, and how you can build those logic. So learn about this important topics. So once you're done with that, come back to the next one, and here you have to master about the guides. So these are a couple of things, extension which you will use during your development of your application. Like Slint is one of the popular one, then we have Prettier, then we have the standard. So make sure to pick any one of this. Again, you can check the course which I have built, and that we have built the movie application powered by AI, and we have used all of this technology which you have seen so far I have talked about. So make sure you can check this particular one, watch this video, and that I have explained that how we're going to design this particular application. We have using all the modern technology like Redux, Next.js, manage the CSS, component structure, everything. So make sure to do your hand dirty with this Slint and standard or Prettier. It won't take more than one day if you try to understand and build a configuration. And now let's talk about some of the optional things which you can consider to learn, and it's not a huge thing. You can easily able to master if you try to understand that how exactly it works. So understand about the model bundler, that how model bundler exactly work, webpack work, parcel, snowpack, like rollup.js, and we have globe. So these are the couple of things which enhance your skills, and you can write more efficient code if you utilize each one of these, because sometimes you have to send the model bundler. So how you have to know that how you have to manage it and how you can simply call in application. So these are the optional things which you have to consider if you want to go with more customization. So you have seen that we have covered so many things in the terms of tech tools and technology which you have to learn as a front-end developer. Now let's talk about the project which you can build to show in your portfolio, and these are the top-notch industry strategy project which I have included, both for the full stack blockchain developer or a web2 developer. So let's come back with the first set of project which you can consider to build. The first one is real estate app, in that you can allow user to list their property and provide selling and management of the property. That's what you can do. Or you can build a cryptocurrency app. So we have built NFT marketplace, Uniswap clone, or we have built NFT marketplace, token marketplace, we have built token exchange platform. So you can build those application and you can add in your portfolio. So definitely you can check that out. We have close to 30 blockchain project which you can consider, and we have used the modern technology. Or you can build a travel compass app, e-commerce web store, voice assistant news app, or portfolio website, voice power batch ticker tracker, or blog with the CMS. So these are the couple of options you will have. I would suggest you to build an e-commerce, and you can have a look if you're interested in Web3. You can build the NFT marketplace, Uniswap clone, or decentralized exchange, where we are dealing with the data with the blockchain and decentralization, and we are using the all latest technology which I have covered so far in that particular project. So these are the first set of project which you can consider. Once you're done with that, let's come back to the advanced set of projects. So you can build a social media web application. You can build a modern UI UX website where you can allow user to come and design their UI UX. You can build a chat application. We already built this particular application on the blockchain, so you can consider that. You can build a video chat app. You can build a progressive web app. You can build a COVID-19 tracker app, which is right now we don't have the COVID. Or you can build a Google search clone, or you can build a premium landing page. So these are the couple of options you will have. You can see we have tons of project which you can build, and if you completely follow this entire roadmap which we have covered, it will teach you every single thing which you have to know as a front-end developer. So I hope you guys have got complete understanding that what are the things you have to learn. So the first and the foremost thing I want to highlight is that first learn about the HTML, CSS. Once you're done with that, master JavaScript. Spend 1 month or 2 months in JavaScript. Try to understand every single thing in JavaScript. Your entire future development will be very easy, because once you master JavaScript, your 80% work is done, and the rest you have to focus on the libraries and the framework. And if you look at all the libraries, all the framework, all of them are written in JavaScript, so it becomes very easy for you. Now once you're done with that, learn about the Tailwind. Then we have all of this GitHub which you can easily able to manage. So hope you guys have understood that what logic you have to follow, and when it's come to having a right direction for becoming a front-end developer. And I want to come back to the blockchain coder, and here we have this particular course, AI course, and in that we have built this beautiful application powered by AI, and you can see we have used all the modern technology for designing this entire application. So it would be amazing experience for you, and you can add this kind of application in a portfolio to enhance your skills and get a job and get an internship. So make sure to come and have a look. I'll provide the link of this particular course in the description, so you guys can simply check that out. And then you can simply take that. So that's the only thing I want to cover in this particular entire front-end development roadmap. I hope you guys have got an idea that what are the things you have to cover. So make sure to save this particular video and make sure to follow this particular roadmap which I have covered, and the way I have explained, try to follow that exactly the way. That will teach you every single thing in the right direction and you will learn things faster. So that's the only thing I want to cover in this video. Hope you guys have learned that what are the things you have to do if you want to become a front-end developer, and I hope this particular roadmap benefit you.